Not one, but two Formula One champions will compete in the NASCAR race at COTA, and Kaulig Racing brings in a ringer for Bristol Dirt. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Happy Friday. Lots of news to get to. Real quick, in case you missed yesterday's announcement, I want you to go follow at Daily Downforce on Twitter and Instagram. Check out dailydownforce.com. It's a new motorsports content hub featuring daily NASCAR news, commentary, as well as the latest content and podcasts from creators like me, The Iceberg, Garage Guys, the Scene Vault podcast, and more coming soon. You can also check out some of the latest merch. Definitely go check that out. Again, that's dailydownforce.com. Couple of quick stories real quick. William Byron is reuniting with Kyle Busch Motorsports. Yesterday it was announced that Byron will run 3 truck races for KBM: Bristol Dirt, Darlington, North Wilkesboro. He'll be sponsored by HendrickCars.com. William Byron first burst onto the national scene, really, driving a Kyle Busch truck. Back when KBM was Toyota, William Byron drove that number 9 truck, had a 7-win season in 2016. Now that KBM's a Chevy team, they're able to work together once again. And I said this yesterday, but so many young drivers are looking to get seat time, even if it's not a next-gen car, at these newer tracks. Bristol Dirt, get some extra experience there. North Wilkesboro, get some track time before the All-Star race. It's not the same style of car, it's obviously going to drive differently, but just seeing the track, getting accustomed to these new courses, these new layouts, it's valuable. A lot of young drivers are trying to get seat time in trucks and Xfinity. Young Cup guys, I should say, are trying to get seat time in these lower ranks. So William Byron back with KBM. That's kind of cool. He's kind of already been reunited with KBM the last couple years since Rudy Fugle is his Cup Series crew chief. That's the guy he won those 7 races with back in 2016. But yeah, just kind of a fun storyline. Another interesting driver announcement yesterday. Actually, there were a few. This whole episode is just driver announcements. But Anthony Alfredo, Fast Pasta, friend of the channel, will make 2 Cup Series starts this year for Live Fast. His first start will be at Richmond in a few weeks. Second start has not yet been announced, but this is cool. Anthony Alfredo ran full-time in the Cup Series just a couple years ago. I know it's Live Fast Motorsports. They're not really a competitive team, but as someone who likes Anthony Alfredo personally, I'm happy to see him back in the Cup Series, get his name out there on a slightly bigger stage once again. I always forget how young Anthony Alfredo is. I think he's 23, maybe 24, and he's got a full year of Cup experience, a couple years of Xfinity now. Slowly but surely, he's fleshing out that resume, so happy to see Anthony Alfredo get even just a couple starts back in the Cup Series. That's cool. Next, NASCAR fans for years have always talked about road course ringers. Drivers who aren't full-time NASCAR drivers, but are very accomplished road racers in different disciplines. They're hired for one-off road races here and there to compete with the top dogs in the Cup Series. Historically, they'd actually have a decent amount of success. I think in recent years, as Cup drivers have emphasized road course racing more and more, there have been more added to the schedule. We've seen drivers like Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, for example, emerge as pretty stout road racers in their own right. But that has still not stopped many road course ringers from coming to NASCAR. We'll talk about a few in just a moment. But first we have to talk about a new type of ringer. The Bristol Dirt Race is entering its 3rd consecutive season, and Kaulig Racing made a major splash yesterday. Jonathan Davenport, a 3-time Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion, a driver that's been nicknamed Superman, who last year won over $2 million in prize money racing on dirt tracks. He will drive the number 13 for Kaulig Racing at the Bristol Dirt Race here in a few weeks with sponsorship from Nutrien Ag Solutions. I'm sure many dirt racing fans will be very familiar with this guy's name, with his work. I mentioned all the money he won last year. It helped that he won the Eldora Million last summer. Very accomplished dirt racer, 39 years old, and he just sounds grateful for the opportunity. Here's what he told NBC. Quote, "It's pretty hard to put into words. It's something that I've dreamed about since I was a little kid and kind of lost hope on it. I figured where I'm at is where I was going to be. I never thought I would get this opportunity now that I'm older. I thought my window had just went by the wayside. It's just awesome and pretty unbelievable that I'm even going to get a chance to race in Cup." I love that. That's really, really cool. He's never raced a NASCAR stock car, so he's certainly going to face an uphill climb. But in my opinion, it really adds to the legitimacy of the still new NASCAR Bristol Dirt Race to bring in one of the best drivers from the dirt late model world. Not sure how competitive he'll be. That race has been very unpredictable the past couple of seasons, but it's cool to have him on the entry list nonetheless. I'm glad he's happy to be here. Let me know down in the comment section below, especially if you've seen Jonathan Davenport race at a short track near you. What are your expectations for him at Bristol Dirt? And tell me a good Jonathan Davenport story. You know, I had to do some research. I know the big races he's won in recent years, but I want to know more. So let me know what I need to learn about Jonathan Davenport. Cool to see him coming over to the NASCAR ranks, even if it's just for one race. I think that's awesome. Now let's talk about the more traditional ringer in NASCAR, the road course ringer. Circuit of the Americas, coming up at the end of this month, has turned into a marquee race on the 2023 NASCAR schedule. I know, what, Circuit of the Americas? 2 years ago it was sloppy, it was wet, big, scary crashes, poor decisions from race control. And then last year it was kind of controversial with AJ Allmendinger, Ross Chastain trading blows, Ross Chastain certainly getting the last laugh. So what is it about this year's race at Circuit of the Americas that makes it so special? Well, you know, yesterday we talked about Kimi Räikkönen, 2007 F1 champion, returning to NASCAR with Trackhouse to run the COTA race. We also talked about a rumor that there was another F1 star expected to compete in that event. We now know who it is. It's Jensen Button, the 2009 F1 World Champion. The NASCAR Cup Series entry list for Circuit of the Americas will now feature 2 F1 champions, as well as an IMSA champion, a Rolex champion, Jordan Taylor, who's driving a Hendrick Motorsports car. And I don't want to leave him out, but Connor Daly, a fan favorite from IndyCar, will also drive, but he's not, unfortunately, in a very competitive car. But the entry list for Circuit of the Americas, I don't know if I can say it's stacked, because while Jordan Taylor driving the 9 is very interesting, if Chase Elliott was driving the 9 as he typically would, he'd be a favorite to win this race. So I'm not sure that Jordan Taylor, I know he's a fantastic road racer, fantastic sports car driver, but he doesn't have any NASCAR Cup experience. I'm not going to say he's more formidable than Chase Elliott, but still, Jordan Taylor, Jensen Button, Kimi Räikkönen, what a trio. And where did this all come from? The Kimi Räikkönen stuff, we kind of saw coming. Obviously, he ran a Cup Series race last summer at Watkins Glen and left the door open to a potential return. But Jensen Button, this one comes out of nowhere. Let me talk about him for a moment, because it's not just COTA. COTA kind of makes sense. We've known for a few weeks now that Jensen Button will be representing NASCAR overseas in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. He's driving the NASCAR Garage 56 entry. So I guess it's not surprising that he would want to compete in a NASCAR race beforehand. In fact, he was my first guess yesterday when these rumors first circulated. But he's also going to run the Chicago Street Race and the Indianapolis Road Course. Both races happen later in the summer after Le Mans. So, I don't know, is Jensen Button just actively trying to pursue a NASCAR career now? Let me get to more of the details. I'm sorry. He's going to race for Rick Ware Racing, but it's a Stewart-Haas supported entry. So it's the 15 car, but he's going to have Stewart-Haas handling and power. Sponsorship from Mobil 1. They've had a relationship with Jensen for years. They also work with Stewart-Haas, so that's where this pairing happened. I figured we'd at least see Button in a Chevrolet. I thought maybe the 84 that Jimmy Johnson has raced. Which, has Jimmy Johnson said he won't do COTA? Or is that still a possibility? Could we also see Jimmy Johnson race Circuit of the Americas? Now that would put this thing really over the top. But either way, Jensen Button will drive a Stewart-Haas powered Ford at Circuit of the Americas. He actually told the media yesterday that it was the movie Days of Thunder that sparked his NASCAR interest. Hey, Tom Cruise, can we get a Top Gun Maverick style reboot maybe? Maybe? Jensen also said that he really would like to test an oval. So, I don't know. He's 43 years old, Jensen Button is, so I don't see him, setting off a long and illustrious NASCAR career here in the next few months. But he sounds genuinely interested, genuinely challenged by stock car racing, so I don't know, that's cool to see. If he wants to race, go for it. Bigger picture, yes, Circuit of the Americas is now a marquee race with 2 F1 champions, an IMSA champion, an IndyCar driver, as well as 30 plus NASCAR stock car elites. But honestly, it's not just the road course ringers at COTA. It's also, accomplished dirt racer like Jonathan Davenport getting his Cup Series opportunity at Bristol. NASCAR's poured all this time, energy, and money into the Garage 56 effort to bring NASCAR overseas and display it on the world stage. That's cool, that's great. And I know they've tested a few things that might make it onto Cup Series cars one day, but I don't know, so far that doesn't really seem to be happening. But they're spending all this time and money to take NASCAR to France and show the world how versatile it is, when here at home, for much cheaper, more naturally, drivers like Jensen Button, Jonathan Davenport, Kimi Räikkönen are showing the world how versatile NASCAR is, because that is NASCAR's greatest strength right now. NASCAR's bread and butter for sure is ovals, but we've got half-mile ovals, quarter-mile ovals, 2.5-mile super speedways with pack racing inches from one another at 200 miles per hour. NASCAR also has road courses. They now have a street course this year, which is new. They also race on dirt once a season. No other major motorsport series is doing this kind of stuff, and to me, it's one of NASCAR's strongest appeals currently. You flip on NASCAR one week to the next, and the product may look entirely different. It keeps you on your toes. And now, it's providing a platform for the greatest drivers at their specific disciplines to come over and shine. Jonathan Davenport's NASCAR dreams would have never come to fruition if not for Bristol dirt. Without the sportier, more nimble next-gen car, I don't know you see Jensen Button and Kimi Räikkönen come over to race multiple starts. After driving F1 cars, you think those guys would have wanted to try and corner in the Gen 6? NASCAR has made many changes in recent years. Some have been better than others. Some have resulted in unintended consequences, perhaps. But one of the best consequences of all the recent changes is the diversity of the schedule. Regionally, but also style of racing and style of track. Intermediate ovals, short ovals, stadium ovals, super speedway ovals, road courses, street courses, dirt track, triangles. I'm just throwing Pocono out there. NASCAR's schedule is extremely diverse, and it's appealing to internationally acclaimed drivers. In my opinion, that's doing a fantastic job of showing the world just how versatile this sport currently is. These recent announcements have made me proud to be a NASCAR fan, and also got me really excited for Circuit of the Americas in a few weeks. Let me know if you're going to COTA down in the comment section below. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all out there, and share your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you a fan of NASCAR's new schedule? Do you wish they'd stuck mainly with the ovals? I mean, I guess it still is vast majority ovals. But let me know what you think of all the latest news down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave this video a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel and you love NASCAR, and thank you to my Patreon supporters for your continued and very generous support. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday, y'all. I will see you later this weekend. Phoenix, Xfinity, and Cup Series action with a new Aero package on Sunday. Can't wait to talk about it. I'll see you then.